Welcome to Take two. Welcome to Friday Night Chats with Garage Geek. I'm all over the place. So I've had a very, very busy week. In fact, I'm lamenting that I haven't been able to keep up with even some of my favorite YouTubers. Just I've been running around like crazy. Now, I'm anticipating coughing a lot during this video. So I've got my tea handy. Now, all right, where do I start? Okay. First, I want to acknowledge Guz69. He is doing a blog, and on his blog, he is going over one skull a day, skulls on vinyl albums. Okay, I mentioned this before, but I haven't even gotten to the blog yet. I know he's already started it, and he should already have about 6 posts. So I need to definitely check that out. But I want to support him, and I am also going to try to show one skull every week. Doesn't have to be vinyl. So here we got a great skull on the cover of the original Ghost Rider #1. And so I'm assuming, I don't know if I read it. Yeah. Oh, so these are actually reprints. Representing the first appearance of Johnny Blaze. So there you go. Yeah. Pretty cool skull. So there you go, Guz69. Next, I want to reiterate something that I spoke about in my subscriber appreciation. Okay, so I am going to do a live stream again. I think I'm going to make it the last Saturday of the month. I haven't had time to make a formal announcement, but I just want to give people time. So you have still, I think, like 3 weeks. So we are going to be discussing Ambient 1, Music for Airports by Brian Eno. M, the movie by Fritz Lang. The novel Rat by, I'm going to pronounce as Andrzej Zaniewski. And then finally, the comic collection She-Hulk by Marco Tamaki. Okay, so this one is a recent release, so it should be available. And I'm just trying to, pick something from many different genres. So we got music, movies, books, and graphic novels. So I will make a formal announcement, but I know one person already went ahead and found a copy of Rat online, and I think got it off of eBay. It is available. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be making a formal announcement, but I'm just stating this again in case you need time to get a hold of the book or the comic. And again, we'll see how that goes. But whether I'll break the live stream up into like 15-minute segments, and of course we could talk about other things, but it'll just be centered around those 4 items. So yeah, I'm just kind of catching my breath. So much has been going on. I had my niece came into town, and she came like the day before Christmas. I was showing her around. Then we had Christmas. Then we went right to Death Valley. Oh, that's another thing. I've been meaning to make my Death Valley travel video, and I just haven't had the time. And I've got 2 days left, and I go back to school. I know, right? Boo-hoo. But yeah, 2 days. And I'm hoping that the next 2 days I can just kind of relax and get caught up on some reading. I'm going to talk about some reading that I was doing. Where did I even put the books? Yeah, and I didn't get to finish it all, but it's supposed to be right here. And now I don't. Oh yeah, they're down here. All right. Yeah, like I said, I'm all over the place. I'm just like kind of frazzled. And what was I even talking about? I don't even know. So going back to school. And got 2 days, kind of want to relax. But this is the craziest thing. There's a record store in Hollywood. And this is going to show you how crazy, totally loony I am. There's a record store in Hollywood. And if you buy $20 of merchandise from them, you can take 100 free records. And they're going to have, they said they would replenish the stock hourly. And it's it started today. And it goes today, tomorrow, and I think until Sunday. But imagine, I mean, that would be paradise for me because, a lot of the people, they're not going to want the kind of albums that I want, and they'll just be sitting there and spend $20 and walk away with 100. But this is why I'm so crazy. I'm actually going through all my albums right now, and I'm just like taking them all off the shelves. I am trying to really pare down my collection. I'm doing it the Maria Kondo way. Is that her name? Like, it's got to inspire joy in me for me to keep it. Like, there's got to be a reason that I want this album on my shelf for me to keep it. And if not, it's got to go. I bought 5 of these containers, and I want them to go into the bottom row of my of this, because I have so much junk in here that I want to be able to put the stuff that, for example, I've got some tape over there, the kind, for boxes. Like, it's just sitting out. I need somewhere where I can put all this stuff so that my room can start to look better. And so I've got to get rid of at least a row of records so that I can put these in there and then hide some of this junk. And I'm telling you, this whole process. So imagine, I was even thinking about going so I could get 100 more records and go through everything. Like, that's how, like, kind of insane I am. I'm trying, at the same time I'm purging all these albums, I'm thinking of going and getting a free 100. Like, what? Like, what is wrong? There's something seriously wrong. I don't know. Let me take a sip of tea. But I also wanted to mention that because imagine how many the vinyl purchasers out there would just love to, like, you could just buy $20 worth of CDs. You buy one album, and then you get to walk away with 100 like free ones. Even if you take 20 and you don't even do the whole 100, right? But I bet a lot of vinyl collectors would be really interested in going to that sale. If you live anywhere in this area, I think it's at the Record Parlor, which is in Hollywood. I think that's what the name of it was. The only problem with that place is it's really difficult to find parking. But I'm going to refrain. I'm not going to go to that, even though I kind of really want to. I just want to see what kind of albums are there that are free. Okay. So, as I was saying, after the Death Valley trip, I came back. Then I took my niece back to the airport, had to get up early. So I was actually a little bit frazzled for a day just because I had been up so much and I couldn't fall back asleep. And so then another friend came from out of town, and I went to the Valley to pick him up. And we spent the day together, and then a couple of other friends, we got together and we all had a big dinner, and then we went drinking. It was, they have something called Homo Happy Hour, and so we went to that, and it wasn't all just gay people. I actually know some straight people, and they came with us, and we had a really nice time. But of course I drank too much because some friends brought us over some tequila shots, and 2 of the people that I were with, they weren't drinking at all. And so I ended up doing, I think, 2 tequila shots, and I had already been drunk. And so I did not need to do that. So this morning I woke up and I was just like, ugh. And I was with my friend, and the 3 of us had decided we're going to go out for breakfast. Then we were going to go shopping. And so we went to the outlet malls, and I bought a whole bunch of clothes for school, new school clothes, and I actually bought some shoes. I needed some shoes. Like, yeah, you need to know all this. And then we did something which was a treat. So my husband loves Godzilla, and so I said, you know what, let's just go to the movies and see Godzilla. It'll be fun. So we went. I had heard and read really good things about it, but I don't pay too much attention. I just like listen to a little bit, but I don't listen to what it's really about. The only thing I knew about this movie was that it took place during the time of the original Godzilla. That's all I knew. So it took place in the past. Wow, was this movie good? I absolutely loved it. Now, the thing that I didn't know is that it's not a an English movie. It's it's from Japan, and they did a great job, right? They really took their property and they did something with it finally. Because I mean, I've seen so many. I don't know about so many, but I've seen a bunch of the revivals, even the ones in Japan, and they're just goofy. But man, they did a good job on this movie. It's a really, really good movie. Highly recommended. I like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and the other two people that are with, including my husband, he really enjoyed it as well. Um, but I haven't been in a movie theater in a while, right? And I'm just since COVID, I'm just kind of resigned to watching movies. I've got so many streaming platforms and other ways to watch movies. I'm like, why am I going to go out and spend money when I could just watch? But then you go to the movie theater and it's just such an enjoyable experience, man. The screen is gigantic and the surround sound, and oh man, when they finally got around, they saved it, right? But when they finally got around to playing the Godzilla theme in the movie, it was glorious. I was like so pumped, and like the music was so good. Yeah, there's nothing like going to see there I go again. There's nothing like going to see a movie in a movie theater. It just watching it at home, it doesn't compare. I mean, there's just something about it. It's so much nicer. So I'm gushing, and every once in a while, I need to be reminded of that, but by going to the movies. So, I'm glad that we actually saw this one in the movie theater, and we didn't wait for it to be on HBO or whatever. Okay, I also saw another movie, which was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Sorry, I don't have a visual for you. Um, I really enjoyed it. Like it was on, I think it's on Disney, and so I went ahead. I didn't have high expectations, and I think again, like I mentioned before, not having high expectations for some of these movies, you just end up really enjoying them. I was like, oh, it's another Indiana Jones movie. I didn't hear much about it. It must not be very good, but it's Indiana Jones. I want to watch it. I enjoyed it so much. I really, really liked it. Now, is it probably going to be the best Indiana Jones movie? No, but like I said, I had low expectations. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. So I would recommend it. If you like Indiana Jones, you have to watch this movie. There were some really exciting scenes, and you know what they've really perfected the technology of making people look younger. I remember how badly they botched the CGI of making like they had to remove a beard on Superman in that movie because he was under contract to another movie. I think it was Mission Impossible, and he couldn't shave, and they needed to do some reshoots for a scene for a bunch of scenes in the Justice League movie, and so like you could just totally tell it's so bad. But in this movie, and I'm not saying that's probably the same technology, they take two characters and they show them from about 40 years ago, or no, 40. It would have been 30, something like that, 30 years earlier. And it's Indiana Jones and also Mads Mikkelsen. I mean, why did I do that? Harrison Ford and Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen is the villain in this movie, and that's probably one thing that I could say about one thing bad. Mads Mikkelsen is an amazing actor, and it's such a cartoony villain role. Like he doesn't. I don't think that they gave him the opportunity to do something with that role, which was sad because he's such a great actor, and he could have done. If they had given him the opportunity, I think that he could have made a memorable villain. But he just ended up being this cartoon, no depth villain. But otherwise, the movie's really not about Mads Mikkelsen. It's about Indiana Jones. But what I was saying is they had the technology, and they made Harrison Ford look like he looked from the first movie, and the technology really looked good. It was believable. So that technology has come very far, but it's kind of scary, right? Because I'm thinking, well, if they can do that, like they can just like you've seen these episodes where if they have the rights to somebody's image and voice, then they could just create them doing an AI role, right? I think we've seen episodes like, wasn't that a Black Mirror episode or something? But it could be done. It seems like it's almost there. I mean, they create total roles out of like almost thin air. Like when you talk about Gollum and when you talk about, and there's another Planet of the Apes movie coming up. Like they totally create the entire character around a person wearing a suit with dots on his face. And they build this entire character. And Caesar, that character, he looks real. So I just say like that technology is really improving by leaps and bounds, because Harrison Ford really did look young for the role. It was kind of just like, wow, this really looks good. So back to the movie. I enjoyed it. I like go with a grain of salt. Like if you say, this isn't the best movie ever, you're going to enjoy it. I thought it was fun, action packed. It's like a perfect popcorn movie. Enjoyed it. However, Godzilla's a must. I love that movie, Godzilla -1. And you know what? I don't know why it's actually called -1. Does anybody know why? Does it have to do with something with radiation or the time period? I don't know. I need to research that because I don't know why it's called G-1. All right. So let me talk about some books that I've been reading. Now, I'm actually a little bit disappointed in myself because I gave myself the goal to finish all 3 of these by today, and I didn't make my goal just because like I said, I had, visitors from out of town, and, the time got away from me. But I did finish one. So I finished, so one of my goals this year is also to read a lot of my epic collections. I've just been building them up, and I put them on my shelves, and I haven't gotten around to reading them. So I did finish this one, and this one is Spider-Man Deadpool. Now, this is a modern era epic. And so I figured I would start jumping into these modern era epics because they would, I thought they would be good jumping on points, right? I haven't read a lot of the modern stuff, so to me, all of this is new. And excuse me again for my throat. This one is Spider-Man Deadpool Epic Collection #1. And this is from 2016, 2017. And it's called Isn't It Bromantic? And so basically this is a comedy series. You're bringing 2 wisecracking traditional, Spider-Man was always a wisecracking superhero. And then you bring in Deadpool. And they do go back and forth. And there's even a section where they kind of switch roles, where Spider-Man wants to become the killer and Deadpool is trying to get him to not to do it. I'm not going to say that this is like the greatest comic book ever, but it was fun. Definitely a fun read. I enjoyed it. Okay, I would say that this is like a 3.5 out of 5. It does have sections because they have different runs in here. And there's a couple issues that I and the art's pretty good too. Like I'll show you. Like there's an example of there's Deadpool and Spider-Man and Nightcrawler, double page spread. Yeah, so like the art is not bad in this. Some of the cover art is really good. Here's an example of some of the art. But there's one issue in particular that I loved so much, and I didn't think I would. So there's this issue where they mimic Steve Ditko's art, and they put it in, like, they really put it in the time period, but there's all these like in jokes that it's just like, it's really well done. So if you're interested, find that one issue by itself. I think it's Deadpool. Which one is it? It's #7. When Cometh the Plutocracy, or Convention Chaos. I mean, but look at this. Like, this totally looks like a Steve Ditko Spider-Man, and then they just add Deadpool in there. And I'm going to give you some other examples of, like, I mean, look at that. That totally looks like a Ditko drawing right there. This just had me laughing because, I mean, that really does look like it comes from Spider-Man Annual #1, where every villain got a full page. It's one of my favorite comics. Every villain got a full page. And I mean, that the way he draws, like, even the fingers, it's hilarious. It looks just like Ditko. Now, there's this, like this panel right here. He makes jokes about how in all the old Spider-Mans, he would, like, web his camera up and take pictures. And, like, nobody ever figures out that, you know, they're all up above and that they're always in focus. And they make fun of that. It's like there's so many good jokes, and this is such a really good issue. In this, I mean, look at that one. That looks exactly like Ditko. Like, so I'm just kind of looking through here to see if there's anything else. The next issue, they promised that Harry Osborn and Aunt May switch their medications. Yeah, like I said, that issue just tickled me pink. It was worth the entire thing. Then there was another one where they go to Las Vegas, and I guess Penn from Penn and Teller, he wrote the issue, and there's a lot of, like, in jokes about it. It's pretty funny. And there's also a Christmas issue where the real God, I guess he would be a god, or like, yeah, something. Santa comes down, and he wants to take back the name of, you know, Christmas, and how, you know, everyone has desecrated his holiday and turned it into something else, and so he wants revenge on the human race because of that. Just these kind of things. I guess, yeah, I enjoyed this. The art was good. Some of the jokes were really funny. That one issue of the Steve Ditko one, I thought was worth it. Was worth the entire price. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that one away. So one down and about 400 to go on these. So in keeping with that, I had started reading the Fantastic Four #1, and I almost made it. I just need 3 more issues, and I would have been ready for tonight. But I mean, it's the first 18 issues, and there's so much in here that's, like, really funny. I've been taking pictures of certain panels. Like, there's so many sexist panels involving Sue Storm, and, like, the Thing is telling her, like, saying that she never shuts up, and what's wrong with females, they never shut up, and, like, I mean, it's bad. It's really pretty bad. But this is where, you know, the Fantastic Four, they're still trying to find their footing, right? So I know it's going to get better. It's still kind of like villain of the week. Every issue is a different villain, and then, you know, they meet other people from the Marvel universe. But like I said, it's still trying to get its footing. And I mean, it's just classic Marvel art. So I'm looking forward to getting to around issue 50 to see how the stories, because that's the lauded area, you know, with Galactus and Silver Surfer and Black Panther, and so I want to see how that compares to this early stuff. I'm sure it's going to grow by leaps and bounds. So that brings me to the first. This is another modern epic of Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, Edge of Spider-Verse. And so this is also Epic Collection #1. Now, I'm going to admit, like, I've actually read the first half of this, and I have a smaller collected edition, and I had read a lot of this. And I enjoyed this. When I was on Facebook, and someone had bought this and they were asking, hey, is this worth reading? And a lot of the comments seemed to be negative. Nah, not really. You know, it's okay. Da, da, da. But I don't get that because I really enjoyed this story, and I thought it's really good. You know, so far. This is like 4 different miniseries collected together, and the one issue that I had initially when I read this is the artwork. Like, the artwork is very like it's almost like that guy who did Paul Pope. It's very Paul Pope-ish, and I do not like Paul Pope's art. I don't. It when I see it, it's just ugly. Now, I know he's a very hip artist, but for me, it doesn't do anything. And so, in many ways, this is very similar to Paul Pope's art. Like, I'll show you some. I don't know if you could see. Like, look at the vulture there. But having said that, the art style kind of grew on me, and I started to appreciate it more and more. After I realized, hey, you're not going to get a traditional artist. You know, you're getting this different style of art that is more for kind of younger generation. I kind of started getting into it, and I was appreciating the art more and more. For example, I would learn to ignore the small things and get through them quickly so that I could appreciate, you know, some of the brilliance. Like, a lot of it is the coloring. There's great coloring in these issues. And another thing is the cover art on these are really nice. They use so many pinks and reds in the color scheme. I'm going to give you, like, that's one example, but I just want to show a couple covers because the cover art is like I mean, look at that. It's the colors that make that thing pop. I'll show you one or two more. And here's another one. And another thing that's interesting is that since this takes place in another like a parallel universe, things are a bit twisted. Like, one of the villains in here is Matt Murdock. He's a lawyer who works for the Kingpin, and he's evil. And it's really interesting to see Daredevil, who's one of my favorite characters, who being twisted in this way and, you know, perverting the law to the fullest extent and going after anybody who he's like the Kingsman's right-hand man. There's just a lot of things like that. And the Punisher in this is a police captain who is hell-bent on trying to find Spider-Gwen. So anyways, I'm enjoying this, and I only got halfway through, but this is a very quick read. I can get through the other half very quickly. Whereas the Fantastic Four, that takes a long time to read because there's so much writing on every page, which I don't mind. But I'm just saying, it takes a lot longer to read this epic than it does to read this one. All right, I have gone on and on and on. This is going to be a short one tonight. I'm at 28 minutes. I do want to say that tomorrow I'm going to be on Larry's Library, but it'll probably be too late by the time you get this. I'm going to post it tonight, but that starts for me at 6:30 in the morning, so I got to get up early. But his time, it's 8:30. It's always fun to be a guest on his show, so I'll be on his show tomorrow. We're going to be showing off things that we got for Christmas. They're mostly going to be showing graphic novels and things like that, but I didn't get any of those for Christmas, so I'm just gonna, you know, have to break the rules and show some other things that I got. I think I'm forgetting something. Okay, I paid homage to Guz69. I talked about the live stream that's coming up. There's something else that I'm forgetting. I talked about Godzilla. I guess that's gonna have to be it, right? So I'll probably remember as soon as I as soon as I stop this, what I forgot. But again, I want to thank everyone for the support, and you're getting a treat, right? I'm going to be under 30 minutes for the first time in a long time. Again, I want to thank everyone for the support, and have a great weekend.